交付，5号的后荒谬，有你在重要，幸福的快炸掉，大声炫耀，要高峰，去天峰，要高峰 ，TFBO。
You're looking live at the MABA Stadium on the penultimate day of our elimination round. The first game of today's quadruple header features the Beda Red Lions Machateam taking on the third floor KALOSph Cooly. Good afternoon from Kuala Lumpur. My name is Stancy alongside Coach Mark Dandan, and we're starting things off hot here, Coach.
We'll see Beda, how much they've recovered from that double overtime marathon game last night, Stan. That was quite the game to watch.
I was following, I know you were covering it. Jalen Robinson just smashing Phil basket records left and right. That 55-point, 24-rebound performance. But not to be too outshined, Jacob Cortez from Beda. He had 33 points. But on the other side, you're looking at the third floor KALOSph Cooly. It's a must-win game for them.
Third floor losing their first two games right now. For them to have a chance to make the playoffs, they have to sweep the next two games here against Beda and tomorrow against KALOSph.
But for the Beda Red Lions, it's also a must-win situation for them because they want to lock down that top seed in their group.
Now, if they get the win today, they're going to lock down #1 seed in their group because they beat MBC Kirin, who is also a 3-1. So definitely today, it's going to be a hard-fought battle between these two teams.
There are only 4 elimination games here in this round, which means that every contest matters. Now let's send it over to our venue announcer, Ken Pangilinan, for the introduction of the players.
At the MABA Stadium for the 2023 AsiaBasket Kuala Lumpur. Let's meet our teams first. The Beda Red Lions Machateam. Number 2, Cortez. Number 4, Machateam. Number 5, Alex Beda. Number 8, Th3rd. Number 9, Zane Kuala. Number 10, Number 11, Josh Beda. Number 18, James Mayose. Number 21, Beda. Number 23, Clifford Hopia. Number 75, Joel Pulo. And number 77, AJ Goyo. The head coach is Julius Beda. And now let's meet the team off the 3rd floor, KALOSph Cooly. Number 3, Gerald Anderson. Number 6, Julie Morales. Number 8, Th3rd. Number 10, Jenmar Rice. Number 11, Harold. Number 14, Irving Mendoza. Number 15, Chester Zeracuse. Number 16, Chris Joyce. Number 17, Andro Matibay. Number 20, Chelo Papuakia. Number 24, Bruce Navarro. And number 29, Nani Stepana. Their head coach is Joseph Dior. Our game officials for this game, T. Yong-sen, Yo Kim Lim, and Yak Po.
Both teams meeting in the middle here, dapping up before the game as we acknowledge our officials for this matchup, Crew Chief T. Yong-sen and Yo Kian Lim, as well as Yao Po Boon, the umpires for our first game here in this Friday quadruple header. The 3rd floor, KALOSph Cooly, they haven't won a game yet. Looking to finish off their elimination round stint here with at least a W on their record. Meanwhile, the Beda Red Lions Machateam looking for the best matchup and the best outcome coming out of the elimination phase. You're looking at the Beda Red Lions, who had a long night. Longer than they would have expected, and not for the reasons they would have liked.
Beda, like I said earlier, getting on a marathon against KLC last night. A lot of players playing over almost 40 minutes. Well, not like Jalen Robinson played 50 minutes last night.
That's right. It was a double overtime special here at the MABA Stadium. The local fans here getting treated to an epic attrition. It was a battle of attrition last night. Now let's get to hear from one of the Beda Red Lions by turning it over to the 3rd member of our broadcast team. Here's Kimberly Mass.
Thank you, Stan. I'm here with Damie Kuntapay. Damie, it is said that there are more lessons to be learned from a loss than a win. So now what did Beda learn from last night's heartbreaking defeat to KLC?
So we learned from the last game. We need to be composed in the last minute, and also even we're tired, we need to push more, and we must get the win this game, and we need to bounce back for this game.
Yes, and now with less than 16 hours of rest, how quickly did the team have to focus on this game, which is now technically a must-win assignment for you?
So we did last night, we just eat after the game, and we just watched some videos individually, and after that we sleep, and we wake up, then we eat, and we're here, and we're ready to fight and to get this win.
Good luck, Damie. Back to you, Stan and Mark.
Thank you very much, Kim, Damie Kuntapay, and the rest of the Beda Red Lions. Quite literally taking a page out of Big Sean's book. Last night took an L, but today they bounced back.
You know, we see the score from last night. It was 108-106. We had Jacob Cortez, Yukin Andrada, and JV Galego who played over 30 minutes apiece. And that's not an easy thing to do. And Yukin Andrada had the hardest time because he had to guard big Jalen Robinson the whole game.
Yukin Andrada had a double-double, 13 points and 10 rebounds, but you mentioned JV Gallego, who was nowhere to be found despite playing over 31 minutes. Only 4 points. Not a good shooting night for him last night.
So JV Gallego is going to be counted upon by the San Beda Red Lions for their additional offense outside of Jacob Cortez. Jacob Cortez actually played the game of his life yesterday, scored 33 points, most of them highlight reel plays.
And looking at the statistics, Jacob Cortez going up there in the average for points per game, but as you take a look at the lineup for the third floor, KALOSph Cooly, Gerald Anderson in the top 5 in the scoring average, about 25 points per game here in the elimination round.
Gerald Anderson actually number 4 overall in scoring for our tournament, but he's not shooting the ball very well. He's only shooting it around 30% from the field. He's taking a lot of shots. He's making a lot of baskets, but as their last game, he scored 19 of his 21 points in the first half.
Coach Joseph Guillon right there on your screens. We were chatting with him earlier, and one thing he said to us before the game began was, I just hope I don't get ejected today.
Coach had the unfortunate moment of getting ejected in his first ever international stint. Not the way you want to start out. Very auspicious moment right there for Coach Joseph Guillon.
I would say it's actually the opposite of auspicious, Coach Mark, as we focus here on Jacob Cortez, who's entering his 3rd season for the San Beda Red Lions.
Jacob Cortez now going to be one of the leaders for San Beda with the loss of James Kwekute. He has to step up and fill the need for scoring on the perimeter, and the key player for 3rd floor, Mr. Anderson, Gerald Anderson, again, averaging 22.5 points per game. But again, only shooting 35% from the field. He has to be more on point this afternoon for 3rd floor to have a chance.
On point indeed, Coach Mark. You have to look at the rest of the roster for the 3rd floor as well. Who will step up aside from Genmar Bragais, who normally supplements the scoring from Gerald Anderson?
You're looking at a guy like Dexter Zamora, who scores a lot in the first quarter but tends to disappear in the remaining quarters. We see the starting 5 for the San Beda Red Lions. They're actually resting JV Gallego this game. He's played the first 3 games for San Beda, taking a break now. But Jacob Cortez, the marathon man, starting again for San Beda.
And keep in mind that this San Beda Red Lions squad hasn't really had much rest. Less than 16 hours ago, they were still trying to grind it out against the KL Asil. Clifford Hopia drawing the start here for Coach Yuri Escueta. Meanwhile, for the 3rd floor, KALOSph Cooly, very interesting as well because the man in the middle is Ladis Lepalam, who's been coming off the bench regularly for them in this elimination phase.
I had the chat with Coach Joseph as to why Ladis Lepalam is starting today. He says that he wants to match the ceiling of San Beda by starting Ladis Lepalam and having his quicker big guys coming off the bench to match also the quickness of San Beda coming off the bench.
Clifford Hopia at 6'8", towering over the rest of the Red Lions, and that's why Coach Joseph Guillon is matching height with height. The 6'9" Ladis Lepalam basically seeing eye to eye here in the middle, and this has got to be the tallest tip-off we've seen in this tournament today.
Must be a new point of view for Ladis and Cliff, jumping against someone their height.
You gotta love it when you find an equal, someone you can see eye to eye with, as Gerald Anderson asking for that pick, but he's being doubled now. Lepalam with that nice little floater in the paint.
Nice start right here for Ladis Lepalam, hitting the hook shot. Great pass from Mr. Anderson there.
3rd floor already pressing them, forcing San Beda to move the ball around. Jacob Cortez from the corner. That's good.
Jacob Cortez still feeling it from the outside after dropping 33 in some big shots from yesterday's game.
Jacob Cortez averaging 14 points per game in their 3 games so far in the elimination phase. Of course, that 33-point explosion yesterday putting him on everyone's scouting report as Bragais drills that corner 3 of his own.
Bragais with a rare outside shot. Coach Joseph told me that Genmar realizes that's not really his strength, but now he's chucking up more shots, and it's a good sight to see.
Whistle there. And I believe we're going to see our first turnover here for the 3rd floor KALOSph Cooly. Now let's get to the keys to the game here for San Beda.
Okay. Of course, number 1 is the fatigue factor with like Kimberly Ma said, 16 hours rest after a double overtime game. How will they recover after last night's marathon? And of course, are we expecting another encore performance from Jacob Cortez?
You're seeing Ladis Lepalam there dealing with, I believe he got nicked in the chin. Hopefully no loose teeth there. Slow to get up after that collision. Flores dumping it inside. Nice pass. Back out to Bragais. Could not replicate his success from three-point land. It's going to be San Beda ball.
You got to like seeing Genmar Bragais shooting more from the outside. He's had a lot of open looks this whole tournament, but for some reason he's been refusing it, trying to take it strong to the hole. We see the keys for third floor KALOSph Cooly keep forcing turnovers. They're probably the top team in the league at forcing turnovers because of their press. And at the same time, their front line has to step up against a very loaded front line of San Beda. Guys like Ladis Lepalam, Irvin Mendoza, and Portales coming off the bench have to step up.
And this is something that the third floor has been doing well, probably because they don't have an import. So that's how they're trying to compensate here, as Payosing with that nice bank shot there.
As Coach Joseph said, it's center by committee for KALOSph. Third floor, see Gerald Anderson.
Fading away there on that one. Kind of disappointing for the Filipino fans who have already come out to support their favorite actor. Right corner three, no good for Pete Alfaro. Bragais taking it against three defenders.
It's a Genmar Bragais specialty in transition, going 1-on-3, shifting hands.
Meanwhile, San Beda, you've got Payosing attacking the basket. Good tip. Hopia, third chance, gets him 2 free throws.
I believe that's going to be the second foul on Irvin Mendoza. Not a good sign for third floor KALOSph. You see in the replay right here, undersized Irvin Mendoza. No choice but to foul Cliff Hopia on that putback attempt.
First couple of free throws here for Cliff Hopia and San Beda. 6'8", 24 years old by way of Cebu City.
Actually, Cliff Hopia had a chance to guard Jalen Robinson, but he had the hardest time getting back down by the beefier world import of KL Asil.
Free throw shooting not the specialty of Cliff Hopia, only shot 31% from the foul line in NCAA season 98. Steal there for San Beda. They're running. Pete Alfaro sees the basket. Thought he was wide open. Hopia fighting for that rebound. San Beda moving it around. Cortez can't drain the three. Good offensive rebound, but there's a denial from Lepalam to Gerald.
Excellent interior defense by their Ladis Lepalam, but not running down back on the on offense.
Alfaro here at the controls for San Beda. They're trying to keep the offense fast-paced. I'm not sure if it's a mixture of that giggle, the excitement, but also the fact that they're not at 100%. And that's something that Coach Joseph Guion and the rest of third floor has to keep in mind because they had a rest day yesterday.
Of all the teams in the tournament, probably third floor has had the most rest days right now. They've had the day off on Monday, they had the day off yesterday. Definitely the fresher team coming into this afternoon's game against a team that basically just slept, woke up, and played again in San Beda.
I mean, you heard the routine. You heard the schedule from Dami Kuntapay himself earlier. End the game, eat, sleep, wake up, eat, and come back here.
Good thing it's a short walk from the hotel.
At the line, Genmar Bragais.
Genmar Bragais getting the start. Normally comes off the bench for third floor as the spark plug, relieving Gerald Anderson scoring-wise. But right now, Coach Joseph bringing in his 2 top scorers. He knows they need to start well today.
And the third floor really don't want to end this elimination phase without a win, Coach Mark.
And nobody wants to end their AsiaBasket stint with no wins. They travel all the way here in Kuala Lumpur.
Speaking of traveling, that ball travels out of bounds. back
you'll
to
see
San
now
Beda.
Genmar Bragais matching up against Jacob Cortez. That's going to be a physical matchup for the cool cub against a vet like Genmar Bragais.
And for those of you watching AsiaBasket or San Beda for the first time, Jacob Cortez gets that Cool Cub nickname from his father, Mike Cortez, who had a prolific career in college and professional basketball in the Philippines. He was once known as the Cool Cat. I would take the Cool Cub as a nickname over Cool Kitty.
Now, when he grows up, Jacob's going to need a new nickname. It's actually coming into his 3rd year of college. I don't know how long he can keep that name, Cool Cub.
But Cub is kind of appropriate given that they are the Red Lions, as we get that basket from Jomel Puno.
Well, it is appropriate given the relationship with that name. But as he grows up and he's going to round out into a better basketball player, he's going to earn a better nickname, definitely.
Here's to hoping that that happens sooner than later. That ball going off of Yuken Andrada, who's checked in. Andrada, who's been normally starting at the 4 for San Beda, getting a little bit more rest here, coming off the bench now for Coach Yuri Escueta as Bragais nails that bank shot.
So Andrada had the unenviable job of matching up against Jalen Robinson for a good part of 40 minutes. He must feel that today.
Jomel Puno draining the 3 to tie things up at 10.
Jomel Puno was actually not in the lineup last night for San Beda, making up for lost time.
And that was right in front of the officials. Navalon couldn't get away with that at all.
It's an illegal screen from Navalon. And a hard ball screen right there. See on the replay what happened here. They're setting a wing ball screen for Zamora. Navalon, ooh, with the extension, the stiff arm.
He's lucky that wasn't called an unsportsmanlike foul.
Oh, the referees are conferring about that. Still sticking with the regular offensive foul call.
Royo now checking in for San Beda. And you notice these quick rotations in Coach Yuri Escueta's lineup. We're not even halfway through the quarter yet, but you see him shuffling his players around already.
Oh, it's out of necessity, actually, Stan. Remember, that game last night didn't do anyone favors for San Beda. I'm sure they're all feeling heavy legs. Aside from this guy, Jomel Puno, who got the rest yesterday.
San Beda, though, good movement, just unable to execute. That's going to go out of bounds, and Vanguardia checks in for the 3rd floor. Coach Mark, I know that you coach in the MPBL, or the Maharlika Pilipina Basketball League, where usually the turnaround for games is quite long. But in college basketball, where you also coach the UP Fighting Maroons, does the UP men's basketball team have any quick turnarounds like what San Beda just went through?
You know, with the UAP schedule, sometimes we play on a Wednesday. The next game is on a Saturday. And with the NCAA, sometimes it's like that. They got the gap of 2 to 3 days in between. So they're not used to really playing back-to-back-to-back games. So this is a new challenge for these young guys.
AJ Royo zipping to the basket there. As we approach the 5-minute mark, let's see what Vanguardia can do for the 3rd floor. Bragais pulls up again from distance. No. That one's last touch, Navalon.
Bragais looks like he has a nice shooting form right there. So I've been wondering why he hasn't been shooting open shots the past few games for 3rd floor. He's been open a lot, but he's opted to penetrate, try to get the layup in the lane.
Coach, you mentioned the generous schedule that the 3rd floor has gotten. They aren't playing back-to-backs until today and tomorrow. So the losses that they've had against their competition so far, they've actually been rather narrow. Like, you take a look at their first game against MBC Kid, and that was a 7-point gap. And then the game against the BGC Builders from the other day, they only lost by 3.
You know, they lost by 3 points. They also lost their head coach with about a minute left. Coach Joseph got thrown out, getting his 2nd technical foul with under a minute left. But as you said, 3rd floor has been very competitive despite the absence of a world import. And they've been doing that with their defense. They've been pressing a lot and forcing a lot of turnovers and converting on those said turnovers. That's why all their games have been, so to say, heartbreakers.
Visser with a steal, takes it up himself. Alex Visser playing good defense and then executing the simple play on the fast break.
Alex Visser with a beautiful sidestep, almost as nice as his mullet.
Vanguardia inside, couldn't replicate what Visser did. The Red Lions are running. Jomel Puno down low, lost control. That's going to be a turnover.
Bad take right there for Jomel Puno. He had an open teammate in the corner for a three-point shot.
Third floor's offense stalling here. They're now down by 6. Just earlier, they were up by 2.
With Gerald Anderson being on the bench, and Genmar Bragais has played the whole first quarter for them. See, as I say that, Gerald Anderson checking in for Genmar Bragais, giving him a rest. This is a ploy by Coach Joseph to keep his scorers fresh until the end of the game. Coach Joseph with a nice drip, tucked in with the designer belt and the leather shoes.
One of the more well-dressed coaches here in the AsiaBasket tournament. As we take a look at Coach Andre Santos, one of the assistants on Coach Yuri Escueta's staff, telling Alex Visser where to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back with more first quarter action. .05 remaining here in the first quarter of our opening matchup for this Friday afternoon. San Beda Red Lions taking on the third floor. Dexter Zamora at the line for a couple.
So as I said earlier, Stan, Dexter Zamora usually starts very well for third floor, but tends to disappear in the second half. And in their last game, he scored 10 points by half, only finished around 12 or 14 points after that.
Dexter Zamora, the third floor's third leading scorer behind Bragais and Anderson, averaging 17.5. 10 seconds to shoot here for San Beda. Puno and Andrada with their two-man game here. Andrada getting lost in the paint. Third floor's running. Over to Zamora. Gerald Anderson, 4-3. Can't find the mark.
Gerald Anderson still cold to start this game. 0 for 3 now from the field.
Puno thought he had the offensive rebound. That gets deflected by Gerald Anderson off Puno. Good hustle from Gerald Anderson.
Mr. Anderson doing it on both ends. He's been trying to score, also defending the perimeter guys of San Beda. And not just the San Beda, but all the perimeter guys, the best scorers of the opposing teams.
Makes you wonder how often Gerald Anderson gets the Mr. Anderson joke from The Matrix. You'd have to wonder he's tired of that by now.
It's such a nice thing to say about his last name as we see him knock down the first shot of the game, a three-pointer.
He'll never get tired. He'll never get tired of hitting those three-pointers. San Beda unable to execute the last couple of possessions here. That's a three. And that one is good for Tagala.
That's something San Beda needs more of. Other guards who can score outside of Jacob Cortez.
Leads back up to 6 for the San Beda Red Lions. Anderson sizing up Puno. Now he's got Viser. And you have to wonder, right, if you're a college student, as Gerald Anderson hits that layup, if you're a college student and you're suddenly finding yourself playing against one of the most famous celebrities in the Philippines, I wonder what that experience must be like.
Must not be fun because he's dropping buckets now against the San Beda boys.
Easy bucket there for Portales. And you have to also wonder to yourself, in this age where everything we say here on the broadcast can get picked up by the people on the live stream. Jomel Puno for 3 right there. The comments, they can be vicious. Imagine being a player going one-on-one against Gerald Anderson. He scores on you. The comments might get a little too ruthless.
You know, a lot of fans, Gerald Anderson fans, definitely rooting for him to do well in this tournament. If you're not careful, you're going to end up on the highlight reel of Mr. Anderson.
Like one of those mixtapes that his fans have put up on YouTube. Easily Googleable. If you don't believe that Gerald Anderson is the real deal on the court, just search Gerald Anderson mixtape or highlights on YouTube and you'll find them.
Is that like an N1 mixtape, Stan?
I believe it's a couple of rungs lower than that, just because Gerald Anderson's game isn't really the white chocolate type.
Now we see 3rd floor dropping into 1-2-2 zone. Changing it up again, Coach Joseph trying to throw San Beda off their rhythm.
Good ball movement from San Beda. Alex Viser as the shot clock winds down.
Now one thing San Beda does very well is their interior passing, big to big. Viser, Kuntapay, Puno, and the rest of the San Beda bigs. Excellent passers underneath.
11 seconds here for the 3rd floor. Bragais finds it again. Nice drop pass. Navalon finishing that one for Bragais.
Excellent find right there from Yanmar Bragais. Losing his defender. And everybody thought he was going to put it up.
Under a minute to go here as Anderson almost had that steal. Pete Alfaro with a nice floater.
Defense not a premium in this first quarter. San Beda will already 26 points with less than a minute remaining.
It seems like they haven't fully rested from that game against the KALOSph, but it's actually paying in dividends because it means they've still got momentum. Pete Alfaro on the break. And that one's a nice finish.
They don't look tired, Stan. They're just running up and down the floor, pressuring, diving on the floor, getting on the fast break.
We call that the benefit of youth, Coach Mark.
To be young.
4-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Almost a turnover for the 3rd floor. Flores put that one up to no avail. Bragais trying to wrestle that ball away from San Beda. And you have to admire the sportsmanship between Bragais and Kuntapay, helping him up, respecting the young Bucks' energy and hustle.
Very sloppy finish here for 3rd floor to end their first quarter. Not a lot of ball movement going on, a lot of one-on-one. It's not the way you want to attack San Beda.
Time winding down here. Gerald Anderson gets denied by Halbuena. Another rejection from Kuntapay. And that ends the first quarter. San Beda Red Lions Machateam up 28-19 against the 3rd floor KALOSph Cooly. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our coverage of the 2023 AsiaBasket Kuala Lumpur, brought to you by Sportsclick. As we enter the second quarter, the Beda Red Lions have jumped out a 9-point lead, which is surprising, especially if you watched last night's game against the KALOSph. And following that double overtime loss to the Kuala Lumpur ASIAL, the Beda Red Lions went out for dinner, and they woke up this morning with some unintended consequence. Kimberly Mas has an update.
Thank you, Stan. According to Coach Jude Roque, Beda grabbed some tacos last night. Not exactly the best recipe, as some players are experiencing some stomach problems heading into this game. Stan?
Thanks, Kim. Makes you wonder if that'll affect their performance, although if the score is any indication so far, it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal.
Beda performing very well despite the double overtime game and the taco adventure last night. Doing very well, minimizing their turnovers. They only have 5 in the first quarter. Jacob Cortez also starting very well in the first quarter. So, the recipe for success for Beda.
Gerald Anderson, nice pass inside to Portales, who draws the foul.
Great look from Gerald Anderson down to Portales. A mini alley-oop right there. That's better ball movement from third floor stand. When they ended the first quarter, they were very reliant on one-on-one plays. Not very smooth.
Portales is good on the first free throw, the former JRU heavy bomber. The default big man here for the third floor, especially with Lepalam on the bench. But the guys couldn't finish there. Here's Jacob Cortez, nice pass at the left corner. That three's good for Tagle.
Excellent find by Jacob Cortez. You see how quick he moves with the ball stand. Almost as quick as his dad.
Second assist there for Jacob Cortez. Meanwhile, on the other end, Portales thought he had the deflection. Beda still with the possession though. Beda playing relatively organized up until that last deflection.
Bad spacing there for Beda. Not really a nice point of attack. Caught in between the corner and the wing. Great read by the third floor guys with that early trap.
Portales acting as the hub of their offense right now. And look at Beda just doubling Gerald Anderson, forcing him to give up the ball. Flores swooping in with that layup.
You know, if you're the 4th leading scorer in the tournament, you are very well deserving of a double team anytime you have the ball stand.
So now it's 2 college kids double teaming someone who, if they normally saw him on the street, they would be like, idol, idol, which for us Filipinos is, hold on, there's a whistle there. That was a hard collision.
See on the replay what happened here. Flores. Ooh.
Flores and Halbuena were jockeying for position.
Almost looked like a headlock right there, Stan.
Chris Flores gets the foul, but our officials will be reviewing it now, so they're looking at the instant replay system here.
See it on the slow-mo right there. Flores giving Halbuena a hip check. Halbuena obviously not happy about that. With the... Ooh, that looked like a closed fist, Stan. That looked like a closed fist from Flores. Look at that, right there.
And if the officials deem that it is a closed fist, that's got to be an unsportsmanlike foul at the minimum.
At the minimum. And the problem here is it was thrown above the shoulders. You know, a couple games ago, we had the guy who got disqualified for throwing a foul above the shoulder. Now, referees calling a disqualifying foul on Chris Flores and Zane Halbuena.
So that's both of them getting ejected here because of the disqualifying foul. So we saw the closed fist from Flores, but what about Halbuena? Why was he ejected from the game as well, Coach Mark?
I believe because Halbuena grabbed Flores by the head. So anytime you're doing any kind of hitting above the shoulders, and our referees have been very consistent in calling fouls here in Malaysia. They've been very black and white about the rules. Anytime you hit somebody above the head, or above the shoulders, excuse me, that merits an automatic disqualification.
So Zain Albuena walking past us back to the locker room. Chris Flores also ejected from the playing court here.
Somebody has to kind of stay in between the locker rooms right there. Don't leave those two guys alone.
I believe the San Beda equipment manager went down with Zain Albuena.
And the assistant coach for 3rd floor, Coach Th3rd, going down with Flores.
Game resumes here. Jacob Cortez off the bank.
Ooh. Quick play out there, out of bounds by Coach Yuri with the back pick for Jacob Cortez. Too easy, and Coach Joseph not happy with that.
And San Beda now pressuring all 94 feet here.
No, Coach Yuri doesn't mind pressuring. He doesn't care. Oh, no.
That's an unfortunate injury. Pete Alfaro nursing that hip. Bragais with a second shot. And Pete Alfaro still slow to move here. Bragais with the steal. Nice block by Kuntapay. Fast break opportunity. And Tagle finishes.
We've had a few guys slip in the past couple of days, Stan. It's been very humid here in Malaysia with some rains here and there, making for a very slippery venue.
And our guests right behind the 3rd floor bench just had to get out of the way because the ball was sailing towards them.
It's a very interactive experience sitting behind the bench, Stan.
That's right. Especially in a situation like this where it really is open seating. You can have your pick of the litter.
We don't really have the A-boards on the side of the benches like we normally do. So it makes for a more interesting afternoon.
I would say it's a 4D experience.
It's a 4D experience. Just like the rides.
18 seconds here for the 3rd floor KALOSph Cooly. Gerald Anderson calling for it. Let's see if he has a stroke. No. And it's going to be a jump ball here between Portales and Kuntapay.
Gerald Anderson still doesn't have the touch this afternoon. He's been getting his open shots. He's been shooting in rhythm. Just very unfortunate right now, Mr. Anderson.
But if I'm Gerald Anderson and the rest of 3rd floor, I would still rather have their schedule where they've had a couple of days off in between these game days as opposed to San Beda just going back to back here.
San Beda, the benefit of the doubt because they're young, Stan. Our organizers know they can keep up despite the schedule.
Lepalam cleaning it up for the 3rd floor, decreasing the deficit down to 11. Tagle for 3, yes! Tagle's getting hot here.
That's Tagle's second consecutive three-point shot from the same corner too, Stan. 3rd floor doing a bad job pressuring the basketball. They're allowing the San Beda guards to go deep into the paint and pitch out to those open shooters.
The guy's asking for that high pick. Loses his defender. Also lost the ball in the process. Lepalam with a mid-range J. Cortez to Alfaro, who seems to be okay. That hip no longer bothering him.
He had a really bad slip. I really thought something bad happened, and thankfully Pete Alfaro showing us he's 100%.
San Beda up by 14. We'll be back with the rest of the second half of the first half. 6:30 remaining here in the second quarter. The duo of Cliff Hopia and Dami Kuntapay back here for San Beda. Zamora getting hit there constantly. Finally got a whistle.
Yeah, that was not a legal guarding position for Tagle. Can't really pressure guys with your back. As you see here in the replay, Tagle, the human traffic cone right there.
19 on the shot clock here for the third floor. Hopia picks it up. San Beda's got numbers. Alfaro to the rack.
Too many turnovers right now, Stan, for third floor. They're throwing the ball away too much. Too many empty possessions on their end. San Beda looking like the fresher team.
Despite playing really late into the night.
It's 11 p.m. Stan.
11 p.m. local time when that game wrapped up. Pete Alfaro with 7 already. Scoring being distributed across the board here for the San Beda Red Lions.
That's been the strength for San Beda, the balanced attack they've shown the past 2 games. And last night we saw Jacob Cortez score 33, Dami Kuntapay scored 22, but nobody else scored in double figures aside from Yukin Andrada. So this is their strength, getting balance from all their guys.
And it just proves that San Beda's ready to take the court and take on all comers any given game day. Nice jumper there, no good though for Mendoza. Payosing pushing the pace. Alfaro for 3. Hopia back to the line goes the big.
Third floor not able to deploy their best weapon, their press defense, because they've been missing shots. And they can't really deploy your press if you're not making your shots.
Gerald Anderson taking a seat, Vanguardia in his place, Alex Visser back in. The man with the mullet.
Mullet man, as Ben Ibrahim would say.
Clifford Hopia finally drilling a charity.
Cliff Hopia has a nice touch around 15 feet. He has that one-hand floater shot. It's really hard to guard because 6'8", he does a shot like that.
Zamora using the picks from the third floor well. Thought that Bragais was gonna find his shot again. San Beda corralling the loose ball here. Alfaro zipping. 12 seconds to shoot here for the Red Lions. Alfaro against the defense, draws the foul.
Coach Joseph not happy with the foul calls so far. But the third floor guys have been very handsy with the handshake fouls. Right, there's Zamora giving up the foul. Now they're in penalty. They're giving up free throws for the rest of the 5 minutes here in the first half.
Pete Alfaro, second generation basketball player. His father also played in the pros, had a cup of coffee there in the big leagues.
You have a lot of second generation stars here. The San Beda Red Lions. Exciting stuff if you're a San Beda fan.
That's right, and the San Beda faithful always watching these games, knowing that their team's actually playing. Of course, they're incredibly proud of the heritage of the Red Lions, a team that has won the Seniors Championship and the NCAA 22 times, leading the league. On top of that, they're the only founding member to even remain in the NCAA, which tells you about how much of an institution they are in college basketball.
Institution is the right word, Stan. One of the most successful basketball programs in the Philippines. 22 championships. Man, it's hard to win one. What about 22?
That's right. And in the juniors division, which means the high school, they've got 23. So that brings their total up to 45.
Crazy stat there, Stan.
Three-pointer no good for Alfaro. Good deflection there. This court getting really slippery. Tagle just had a fall there earlier. Nice handoff to Hopia. against the arms of the third floor defense.
Great agility from Cliff Hopia. I thought he was going to dunk that, but opted for a nice reverse layup.
He could have if he wanted to. On the other end, Portales unable to convert.
Third floor ice cold from the field in the second quarter.
Going through a scoring drought, Astagle thought he could drain another corner three. Cliff Hopia with another bucket.
Cliff Hopia didn't really jump for that offensive rebound, just using his long arms.
Visser to Hopia. He's all alone. Is he going to jam it? Easy layup.
It's 2 points. It's 2 points, Stan.
That's right. You don't get style points here in basketball. Unless it were a slam dunk contest, which this clearly is not.
Still nothing. Third floor is suffering from a drought.
And Alex Visser driving to the rack there. One of the things he likes to do is to get the rebound and throw the outlet pass.
It reminds me of a Kevin Love kind of guy, throwing those long outlet passes.
Gerald Anderson with the floater over Visser, much to the delight of his fans in attendance.
The first 2 points in the last almost 5 minutes, Stan, for third floor KALOSph Cooly. Massive drought here in the second quarter.
That's right. 6 seconds to shoot here for San Beda. Hopia, his post moves, tried to flex it. Turnover there for the Red Lions. Gerald Anderson, 4-3. That's good!
It's a good sign for third floor and the rest. And Mr. Anderson, now he's hitting his shots. He's up to 10 points, finding his rhythm late in the second quarter.
And Dexter Zamora took that hit from Eman Tagle.
Push now. Veteran smarts from Dexter Zamora getting that offensive foul from Eman Tagle. In the replay, Tagle just shoving Dexter Zamora.
And this game, to call it chippy would be to put it lightly.
I will say chippy and slippery. We've had quite a few slips, especially on this end of the floor.
Yes, this particular side where both teams are at right now. On the floor here for the third floor, you've got Gerald Anderson, Portales, Zamora, Mendoza, and Vanguardia. Meanwhile, for San Beda, you've got Visser, you've got Tagala, Payosing, Jomel Puno, and AJ Royo.
I'm really intrigued about Jomel Puno. He's about 6'5", playing the wing position. I guess he can slot into the 3 or to the 4. It's a great piece to have if you coach Yuri. Somebody who can play multiple positions.
Absolutely, and a 6'5" wing, definitely a luxury in Philippine basketball, as Lepalam with a nice baby hook.
And Ladis Lepalam saying 6'9" is better than 6'5", coaches.
Tagala for 3. San Beda really loving that corner 3 in this game. One of the more lucrative shots in basketball. Gerald Anderson to Lepalam, going back to the well.
Great pass from Gerald Anderson down to Lepalam. Lepalam doing the smart thing. Didn't bring the ball down, kept it up and finished.
That's the third assist here for Gerald Anderson as Jomel Puno drains that 3, bringing his total up to 11.
We were just talking about Jomel Puno, Stan, how he can play multiple positions. Now, defending the perimeter after hitting the 3-point shot.
And you notice on Beda on defense, they're really going after the ball. They're trying to either swipe at it or bat it away, disrupt the momentum of the third floor.
No, the key word right there, Stan, is disrupt. They've been very disruptive the whole tournament. It's been very hard for their opponents, bringing down the ball, trying to set up their offense. What they're doing is trying to eat up a lot of shot clock, forcing their opponents to make mistakes, just like this from Vanguardia. Payosing with the recovery.
He picks it up, swoops in for the easy deuce.
You know, Stan, it's never a fun moment when you're getting pressured by 6'5" guy, long limbs like Jomel Puno.
Gerald Anderson with another floater. He's up to 12.
Gerald Anderson cooking here late in the second quarter, but they're still down 19.
That three no good for Payosing. San Beda running back down on defense. Vanguardia 1-on-2. Ball gets swiped away by Royo.
Vanguardia not recognizing Gerald Anderson was open on the three-point line. If you're a guy, you have a guy who's hit the last three shots, Mr. Vanguardia, you give it up to the hot hand.
Not just to the hot hand, to the man who in charge of the team all around.
You give it to the man.
19 seconds on the shot clock here for the third floor. Another chance on offense. Bragais to Gerald Anderson. He was waiting for the defense only to spot up and go in and out like a burger.
He waited too long for that. He kind of lost his rhythm there.
A little over 30 seconds remaining here in the first half. Nice pick from Vicer, but Royo with the butterfingers. Vicer and Bragais going after it, and that ball goes off of Alex Vicer, much to his dismay.
Yanmar Bragais with the fastball straight into Alex Vicer. Great save. Smart play by Yanmar Bragais.
That's right, the veteran smarts being put to use there. Teaching Alex Vicer to always keep your head up.
Fastball special right there from Yanmar Bragais. Trying to save that basketball.
7-second differential here between shot clock and game clock. It's going to be third floor ball. They're down by 19. And the San Beda Red Lions, despite the fatigue, despite everything that's happened to them in the last 24 hours, putting on a clinic here against the third floor. And it looks like the San Beda Red Lions Machateam, they're going to get the final possession here as we go back down the other way.
See on the replay, Janmar Bragais. Oh no, Gerald Anderson getting called for that illegal screen, sticking out his side.
Like you said, Coach Mark, you can't defend with your back, and you most certainly cannot defend with your hip or your backside.
Yep, you cannot do a hip attack here when you're setting a ball screen.
Gerald Anderson taking a seat. Irvin Mendoza joining him on the bench, but there's a timeout here for Coach Yuri Escueta and the rest of the San Beda Red Lions Machateam. .8 seconds remaining here in the first half between the third floor KALOSph Cooly and the San Beda Red Lions Machateam. San Beda Red Lions, their leading scorer right now is Jomel Puno with 11. He's on the floor alongside Vicer, Tagala, Payosing, and Royo. Last possession of the half here.
We'll see what Coach Yuri's drawn up. Getting into the pinch.
8 seconds to shoot here from the paint. No good. Puno thought he could save it. Instead, the third floor gets 4 seconds. And Gerald Anderson checks right back in, looking to be Mr. Clutch for the third floor. At least cut the deficit down to 16 or 17 heading into the half. And Royo with a steal, lays it up and in at the buzzer.
Quite the acrobatic finish from Mr. Royo.
Call him the Flash, AJ Royo with the steal and the layup off the glass. It's going to be 58-37 heading into halftime. We'll be back with more of the first game in today's Friday quadruple header.
见了，开心的快疯了。你从不计较，服务好的很荒谬，有你在重要，幸福的快炸掉。大声炫耀，要高峰，去天方，要高峰。TFBO。
Welcome back to our coverage of the 2023 AsiaBasket Kuala Lumpur. At the half, the Beda Red Lions Machateam are up by 19, 58-37 against the third floor KALOSph Cooly. Just to reset, Coach Mark, that last basket from AJ Royo was deemed good by the officials.
Yeah, AJ Royo beating the buzzer off that steal. We see the stats for the halftime. Beda Red Lions Machateam shooting 57%. And a lot of those, Stan, are layups because they're outscoring third floor KALOSph Cooly 25-8 on the fast break. That's the reason why this lead is as big as it is. Also, Beda outscoring them from the bench 32-5. See the assists and the rebounds also going Beda's way. Third floor throwing the ball a lot, throwing the ball away a lot with 13 turnovers. On the good side, they have Gerald Anderson, who really picked up his scoring in the second quarter. He has 12 to lead third floor. Genmar Bragais with 10, Ladis Lepalam with 8, but nobody else scoring much for third floor. Comparing it to Beda Red Lions Machateam, everybody has scored except for Andrada and Halbuena, who was thrown out.
And looking at the score right now, the Beda Red Lions, their leading scorers, Jomel Puno with 11, Eman Tagle and Pete Alfaro each with 8. Meanwhile, for the third floor, as you mentioned, Coach Mark, Gerald Anderson with 12, Genmar Bragais 10, Ladis Lepalam with 8.
And if you're Coach Yuri Escueta, you like what you're seeing from the rest of the Red Lions, not named Jacob Cortez. Jacob Cortez only played 7 minutes in the first half because Pete Alfaro, Jomel Puno, and Eman Tagle, they have picked it up for Jacob Cortez, who's definitely feeling the effects from last night.
That's right. He had that 33-point game against the Kuala Lumpur Asil, and the issues of the Beda Red Lions heading into this one again, not 100%, less than 16 hours of rest, and a few of them battling some minor food poisoning issues.
They had some tacos that weren't on the good side.
It wasn't Taco Thursday.
It wasn't Taco Thursday for the Beda Red Lions Machateam. You know, you're looking at the stats, Stan. Pretty lopsided right now for halftime. Now, the biggest question right now for third floor is who else can score a bucket, basically, for third floor? Because outside of Gerald Anderson, Bragais, and Lepalam, who've combined for 30 points of their 37, the next guy scoring is Jumilson Portales with 3 points. Then you have Flores, who's been thrown out as well with 2 points. and Joseph Navalon, who scored 2 points as well.
And just to reset the standings here, both teams, San Beda and the third floor, are part of Group B in our elimination phase. This is the final game for the San Beda Red Lions, and a win of over 15 points minimum for the San Beda Red Lions could get them over the hump and into the top seed over MBC Kirin, who they'll share a 3-1 record with. Meanwhile, for the third floor, KALOSph PH, if they somehow pull off a comeback in the second half and win, it could put them in the conversation to sneak in maybe in the number 3 spot, but that might not be enough because we're only looking for the top 2 teams to advance into the semifinals this weekend.
San Beda looking good so far. They're targeting 15 points. They're up 21. But they need to keep pressing if they want to get a top spot in their group to avoid an early matchup with probably either the winners of the game tonight, CSB or Harimau Malaysia.
That's right. Over in Group A, Harimau Malaysia and the CSB Blazers, both of them jockeying for position. And if we get a semifinals matchup between the San Beda Red Lions Machateam and the CSB Blazers, it will very well be a rematch of the NCAA Season 98 semis from just this past November.
There's some bad blood between those two semifinalists from the NCAA. San Beda looking to get back at CSB for eliminating them from the Final Four.
Coach Gabby Severino of the CSB Blazers calls it a relatively new rivalry. So I wouldn't necessarily go out and say that it's bad blood already, but definitely some scores to settle from either side.
San Beda looking forward to this season of the NCAA, a redemption tour of some sorts, because they've always been in the final stand and they've never been eliminated this early in the Final Four. So they're looking to bounce back next season. That's why they're part of AsiaBasket. They're looking to get that experience, a collective experience playing together, playing internationally, looking to get a leg up on the competition.
That's right. The San Beda Red Lions, a storied franchise in the NCAA. There was a run where all San Beda could do is reach the finals of the NCAA, 14 consecutive finals appearances. And that recently came to an end as the second half begins. Jacob Cortez back on the floor here alongside Pete Alfaro, Dami Kuntapay who pulls up for 3, Cliff Hopia, and Payosing.
Well, Dami Kuntapay showing his range last night. Made 3 threes to the surprise of everyone, except their teammates, of course.
Offensive rebound there from Portales. Here's Bragais inside, really willing his way to the basket.
Braga is very creative with his finishes, also known as Mr. Pinoy Step. The alleged originator of that move, Janmar Bragais. See in the replay, quick hezzy and the double clutch, getting the foul from the San Beda boys.
As our officials and our main housekeeping crew take care of that wet spot, we've got an update on the third floor, KALOSph Cooly, who they seem to be on the ropes right now, down by 21 in the third. Let's hear from Kimberly Mas to hear what encouraging message the team received at half.
Yes, yes, Stan. Third floor got a motivational talk from Gerald Anderson's mom, Vanji. Find something positive to do with your energy and channel it to a win. Stan?
Thank you very much, Kim. And it's incredibly difficult to try and spin what looks to be an unwinnable situation, especially if you're looking for something positive. For some people, that could be extremely challenging, especially when it looks like you're looking up at the lights.
Gilmer Bragais, I think he heard the message from Gerald Anderson's mom, starting out very aggressive in this third quarter. And there we see the press of third floor succeeding, but
Kuntapay with the block there. And now Payosing down low. Hopia!
Hopia making sure he makes the basket. We've seen a lot of missed dunks in this tournament, Stan. Cliff Hopia doesn't want to be in one of those lowlights.
That's right. He doesn't want to be on the business end of a hoop junkie or Phil Basket Reel. That floater is good for Navalon. 20-point game.
Good sign to see other guys not named Anderson, Lepalam, or Bragais scoring the basketball for third floor. Navalon with a nice touch.
Jacob Cortez with a cut to the rack.
Jacob Cortez finishing with his left hand. Finesse finish from Jacob.
And for those of you who are fans of the Ateneo-La Salle rivalry or college basketball in the Philippines in the early 2000s, it's difficult to immediately make the connection between Jacob Cortez and his father because his father, Mike, sported the skinhead look for much of his run as an active basketball player.
Skinhead and a nice goatee, Stan. And the high socks.
Yes.
And the high socks and the baggy shorts. The very 2000 era of baggy shorts.
But then you look at Jacob Cortez and his shorts are, I believe, like half of the length of what Mike Cortez used to wear, which is what's on vogue in this era of basketball, isn't it?
It is, alongside with the thigh tattoo, which is very, very popular amongst the kids.
That's right. Calling them the kids just makes us seem older, Coach Mark. I would advise against it as Payosing gets that layup.
Okay, we'll call them younger men.
That's right. There you go. College players. That's you see a lot of the ink on the thighs. Also makes it easier for them to show off. Of course, there's more real estate visible when you're on the court, but when you're out on the town with friends, or let's say you have a business engagement, it's also a bit easier to cover up.
Looks more professional that way. You see San Beda in transition once again.
Gerald Anderson outlet to Dexter Zamora. Zamora getting hacked there. He can't get the three-point play opportunity.
Now, Zamora has been missing in this game. Zamora, the third leading scorer for third floor, has 0 points to his name today. He's been absent for the whole of the first half. Let's see if he can get going with these 2 free throws.
Irvin Mendoza only 0 for 1 on the floor. Or from the floor, rather.
See again Coach Joseph calling for his press, trying to get those turnovers to fuel this comeback in the third quarter.
San Beda's running back to Hopia. Why get in the way of a good thing?
Cliff Hopia really has soft hands for a guy his size. Getting to finish, he doesn't need to dunk it. 2 points is 2 points, Mr. C.
And when you mentioned Cliff Hopia's soft hands, I couldn't help but remember the mild-mannered demeanor of this big man. We share a hotel with this team, the San Beda Red Lions Machateam. Run into these players over breakfast, and whenever Cliff Hopia walks the halls, he's hard to miss because of the height, but he's got a very downplayed personality.
Despite the height, the 6'8", 6'9", he's a very down-to-earth, very quiet kid. Keeps to himself a lot. Likes his cereal too.
Gerald Anderson with a behind-the-back move. Baseline jumper, no good. Offensive rebound for the third floor. They're going back to Gerald. For 3 this time. Gerald's good.
Gerald Anderson doesn't like the 2-point shot. He says, just give me 3, I'll take it any day.
That could be the start or the catalyst of the momentum swing for the third floor. But they aren't able to box out on those defensive rebounds.
Gerald Anderson trying to be the catalyst of this run, trying to switch on his team as they go on a run here in the third quarter. Seeing the replay, big offensive rebound right there from Payosing, failing to block out third floor bigs. You can't give up points like this when they're trying to mount a comeback.
AJ Arroyo coming back in for Jacob Cortez. Not even seeing 4 minutes of action here in the second half, and you know why Coach Yuri Escueta's pulling his guy off the floor real quick.
Jacob Cortez trying to preserve the legs of the cool Cub because they know they win this, they're in the semis with bigger games coming up. Coach Yuri needs his star player to be at 100%.
Free throws good for Payosing, lead up to 22. Anderson's got Alfaro on him. Now he's got Visser. Almost stripped from him to Lepalam on the baseline.
Anderson and Lepalam making good music together. That's the third assist of Gerald Anderson just to Ladis Lepalam.
Gerald Anderson, no stranger to music himself. He's got a couple of dance albums from back in the day right after he left the Pinoy Big Brother house. It's actually how he rose to fame. He was a member of that vaunted class that entered the Big Brother house, a house that featured the likes of Kim Chiu, another popular actress in the Philippines, Mikey Lee, the runner-up of that season. Gerald Anderson actually finished third, but he's arguably the most famous name from that batch, from that cast.
I did not know that he had dance albums, Stan.
Time running out here for the third floor. Free throw line jumper's not going to count.
Excellent defense in the half court right there from San Beda. Just keeping in pace with third floor, not reaching in, not fouling anyone. Disciplined defense from Coach Yuri Escueta's boys.
San Beda getting very democratic here with their ball movement. No one player really holding onto the rock for more than 3 seconds, and this time Royo gives it away. San Beda on defense, it's 2 for 1. Alfaro just colliding with Bragais mid-air.
Again, more Bragais, the one-man fast break for third floor, KALOSph Cooly. Bragais practically unstoppable when he's on the open floor. It's either a layup or free throws.
Bragais at the line for another couple of free throws. Hasn't really scored much here in the second half. Then again, you could say the same for the rest of the third floor.
Bragais struggling from the free throw line. It's been 1 out of 2 the past times he's been there.
San Beda trying to surprise the third floor. And you see it again, how quick the ball moves. It doesn't really stay with the ball handler for longer than 3 seconds or a couple of dribbles, Coach Mark.
Yeah, that's great press break from Coach Yuri. He knows third floor likes to press whenever they convert the basket. Now third floor with the zone, trying to confuse San Beda.
From the top of the key, Viser can connect. Hopia with the offensive rebound and the turnover.
Hopia could have easily gone up with that for the second chance opportunity. Instead, throws the ball away.
Credit Alex Viser for keeping those hands up and bothering Bragais.
Bragais again going to the free throw line, Stan, where he's not been very successful. Shooting 50% here today. There, Bragais, you can see with the sidestep, drawing the contact. He has not been able to capitalize on all his trips to the free throw line. Yanmar Bragais struggling right now.
Free throws no good for Bragais. And third floor continuing to press here. And it's bothering San Beda, Coach.
That's the best ability of third floor, deploying their zone defense, their zone press defense. San Beda needs to pass the ball around better to counter this press.
Gerald Anderson out to Bragais, and look at Lepalam clearing the runway. 16 points now for Bragais, and the lead is down to 15. Suddenly, this game's becoming more manageable for the red shirts.
And this is what they need to do, generate those turnovers. They don't want to get bogged down on the half court, trying to generate points from their half court sets. This is how third floor plays.
Steal again from the third floor, another forced turnover. Lepalam to Bragais.
Bragais feeling himself now up to 18 points with a big smile on his face.
Lepalam with another steal. He does it again. To Vanguardia. To Lepalam inside. Deflected by Royo.
Lepalam using all of his 6'9" reach. Getting consecutive steals off the press. Now San Beda a bit flustered right now. Very disorganized. And here comes Jacob Cortez.
James Payosing taking a seat. Yukian Andrada's back as well for Jomel Puno. So now you see some of the regular starters of San Beda. Gerald for 3. That one could have cut it to 10. But they're going to have to settle for that layup.
Quick 9-0 run here from 3rd floor. Mostly off their press, forcing the turnovers, getting easy layups.
Royo finds Andrada. He's open. Can't cash in. Visser, though, uses the glass.
Visser working hard against 4 red shirts, getting that offensive rebound. Staying very patient, finishing on a reverse.
And on the topic of patience, at what point do you press the panic button if you're Coach Yuri Escueta?
So far, they're still okay. They're still up 13. Nothing too much to worry about. The half-court defense has been very good. It's just their turnovers off that press. See, Bragais now with the jump shot. He's up to 20 points.
That elbow jumper coming in conveniently for the 3rd floor. It's clear they've got momentum swinging in their favor. They just have to punctuate it with another run. Jacob Cortez from distance. Gerald Anderson telling his guys to calm down. They can reduce it to single digits here. Bragais has a bigger defender on him. Giving up 5-6 inches. Bragais, step back jumper, no good. Good offensive rebound. Here's Gerald.
The heat check right there for Genmar Bragais. He's had 10 points in this 3rd quarter.
And that 3 is good for Emantagle. Much needed for Coach Yuri Escueta.
Emantagle with the signature corner 3-point shot. Keeping San Beda up.
Look at the footwork being displayed by Gerald Anderson.
Gerald Anderson cannot be stopped. He's been getting to the rim at will, despite his threes not falling much today.
And it's really that 1-2 punch of Anderson and Bragais that's led the 3rd floor comeback. But Yuken Andrada with that nice little mid-range J, soft touch, allowing them to extend the lead to a more comfortable margin.
So Gerald Anderson and Genmar Bragais taking control of the team offensively, but right now they're gonna need more support outside of Vladis Lepalam. You see Bragais here with a good drop pass. And a well-deserved break coming up for Genmar Bragais.
And for Gerald Anderson, Zamora, Portales, and Talan, they're checking in. So is Navalon. Coach Joseph Guion, basically a four-man lineup. Yeah, 4-man sub.
A line change for Coach Joseph Guion. Now, the big challenge for 3rd floor is who will score from this lineup without Bragais, without Anderson, without Lepalam, their top 3 scorers in this game. The guy like Dexter Zamora and Irvin Mendoza have to pick up their game in order for them to cut this lead down to more manageable to start the 4th quarter.
But when you're playing in a tournament like this, is it a good idea to stagger the minutes? Because you mentioned, Coach Mark, that the top 3 scorers for the 3rd floor, they're all out of the game right now.
I believe Coach Joseph will only take this last minute to give those guys rest. And we're going to see those 3 guys on the floor in the 4th quarter, probably for the rest of the 10 minutes.
3rd floor continuing to press. Really trapping them here in the half court. Less than a minute to go here in the 3rd. And Andrada throws it away, mistimed pass.
Miscommunication there between Yuken Andrada and Emantagle. Actually a good find in the middle of that zone. Yuken Andrada looks like he passed it first before he looked at Emantagle. He thought Tagle was going to be on the wing.
Nice swipe there from Royo. Really disrupting the flow of the 3rd floor. 10 seconds to shoot here.
That's a charge. Warding off on Alex Visser. Dexter Zamora taking too much time, trying to go one-on-one. Not really the strength of the 3rd floor KALOSph Cooly. If you remember, Stan, in that 2nd quarter, they had a span of 4 minutes where they just went one-on-one on offense, allowing San Beda to go on that big run, which built their lead up to 21.
8 seconds separating the shot clock and the game clock. San Beda Red Lions Machateam lineup here is Cortez, Tagle, Viser, Andrada, and Royo.
See the zone again here from third floor. San Beda trying to look to the middle.
Royo pulling up for three. Andrada offensive rebound and the putback.
Yuken Andrada had the double-double last night. 13 points, 10 rebounds. He's a solid frontline guy for Coach Yuri and San Beda Red Lions Machateam.
Only the second basket here for Andrada.
So that's official. All the Red Lions have scored now except for Zain Halbuena,
Who's been ejected.
So put an asterisk on that.
9.4 remaining here as Zamora steps to the line.
Again, as I said earlier, Dexter Zamora has been missing in this game. The third leading scorer for third floor KALOSph Cooly.
Still can't get that free throw to go. 31 years of age, hailing from Tagbilaran in Bohol.
Nice place, Bohol. Nice beaches.
And Zamora 1 for 2 on that trip. That could have been a steal there. Vanguardia quick to pick it up. Still San Beda ball here with 7 seconds remaining in the third.
Coach Joseph just going with this press non-stop. Trying to get this lead, trying to get one more turnover before we end the third quarter.
Andrada.
There it is.
Couldn't get it.
Backward violation on Yuken Andrada.
And San Beda really being forced into making these mistakes. If there's one thing the third floor did well here in the third quarter, it's forcing those errors for the Red Lions.
San Beda with a lot of turnovers. They only had 10 in the first half. Now they've thrown the ball away at least 5 times in my count, which the third floor have all converted into points, which led to them cutting down what was once a 21-point lead at halftime. Now they're only down 13. Much more manageable to start the fourth quarter.
5.3 remaining. Gerald Anderson's back in. Almost lost that. Anderson trying to split the defense. 3 in front of Viser. That's off the mark. And heading into the fourth, San Beda Red Lions Machateam up 76-63 against the third floor KALOSph Cooly. Welcome back to our coverage of the 2023 AsiaBasket Kuala Lumpur, brought to you by Sportsclick. Fourth quarter about to begin here. Stan C alongside Mark Dandan calling the action. San Beda Red Lions Machateam 76, the third floor KALOSph Cooly 63. That third quarter, Coach Mark, was supposed to be the comeback story for the third floor, KALOSph Cooly.
Yeah, KALOSph forcing San Beda into 9 turnovers in the third quarter, bringing up San Beda's total to 19, almost doubling their total from the first half. That's why third floor KALOSph was able to go on a run, cutting this deficit down to 13 points.
It looked a little bit more bleak coming out of the first half. But Ladis Lepalam, who's on the floor, was a key contributor. Those steals and those inside buckets.
Genmar Bragay is missing that jumper, but you like to see him taking those jumpers more often.
Mike Cortez's son, Jacob Cortez. My apologies. Getting caught up there. That big three from the cool cub.
Jacob Cortez making his presence known here in the fourth quarter, where he was pretty big last night against KALOsph.
Nice pass inside to Vanguardia, and Bragay thought he was able to steal that. It's not going to count. Bragay arguing with the official.
Didn't see what really happened there. Genmar Bragay, we'll see here, maybe on the replay. Great drop pass by Bragay to Vanguardia. You see the inbound by San Beda right here. Genmar Bragay is cut short right there.
And the third floor going back to what worked for them in the third quarter, which was that full court pressure D.
Full court pressure defense, generating 9 turnovers from San Beda. Cortez again pulling up from deep.
And it looks like Cortez wants to keep letting the offense running through him.
Jacob Cortez, so aggressive going down, driving down the paint, challenging 6'9" Ladis Lepalam. Last night it was 6'11" Jalen Robinson, and he was trying to finish over that guy. So he's saying 6'8", 6'9" is nothing against a 7-footer last night.
I saw the photo last night on the AsiaBasket official Instagram. It's at AsiaBasket, by the way, where Jacob Cortez and Jalen Robinson were giving each other respect after that hard-fought matchup.
It's a great matchup. You know, Jalen Robinson, record setter, 55 points, 24 rebounds. At the same time, Jacob Cortez, big buckets of his own, finished at 33. Nothing but respect for those ballers right there.
The guys being more of a playmaker here in the fourth. Good defense there from San Beda, forcing a turnover. Three-pointer for Tagle. That's good. He loves that corner three.
Eman Tagle has been the firefighter, burning, putting out the fire of third floor with those corner three-point shots. That's his fourth three, all from the corner stand.
And you can see the urgency from the San Beda Red Lions Machateam. They really want to put this one away so that they can have a couple of days off heading into the semifinals. Coach Joseph Guion wants a timeout. We'll be right back. Back to the action here at the MABA Stadium, where the San Beda Red Lions have been going on a 10-2 run against the third floor KALOSph Cooly. And they're giving the third floor a taste of their own medicine, Coach Mark.
San Beda throwing their own press against third floor, disrupting their offense right here.
Portales rejected. San Beda's running. Payosing forgot the ball. And now here's Bragay down the other end.
Third floor asking for a foul on Gilmar Bagay's layup. We have a stoppage from the referees, a technical foul on the third floor bench. They were asking for a foul. The referee's not happy with how they're complaining.
And it's a sparsely filled venue, Coach Mark. Any remark loudly thrown and hurled in any direction can be easily heard.
Sparsely is the least of it. It's very early here. It's our first game, the 2 o'clock game. Any word, you don't even have to shout, Stan. Somebody's going to hear you on the other end.
And that's the thing about us doing commentary so close to either team. Anything we say wrongly might actually land on the wrong ears. Anyway, the San Beda Red Lions Machateam up by 19 right now. They're looking to increase this one, hopefully put it to bed at the end of regulation because they'd like to get around town for the next couple of days. Kimberly Mass has more on that.
Thank you, Stan. San Beda wants to finish this game as fast as possible. They're looking forward to see more of Kuala Lumpur. I heard a Genting Islands outing tomorrow as well as a mandatory selfie with the Petronas Towers this evening. They're looking forward to get some rest before they prepare for the semis. Stan?
Thank you very much, Kim. I'm sure that they really want to take in Kuala Lumpur without stressing over their placing in Group B.
Remember, Stan, they need to win by at least 15 points to secure that #1 seed in their group for the semis. So they can't be letting up. They're up. I know they're up 20, but in reality, most likely they're only up 5 points.
MBC Kirin already with 3 wins and 1 loss in their bracket. San Beda can tie it with a win, and then it will come down to their margin of victory, or what we in the Philippines call the quotient.
Quotient system in play here for AsiaBasket. That's why every point is crucial. Every made basket is critical. And if you're San Beda, you're gonna win. You have to win big today.
Shot clock winding down here for San Beda. Alfaro slipping, but the ball still active, and Hopia finishes that play.
Alfaro with, I don't know, his 4th slip of the game. He's got 10 points, a few assists, and 4 slips. If we take that stat, Pete Alfaro, not a big fan of this floor.
Not at all indeed. Tagala checking back in. Eman Tagle taking a seat. He'd had a hot hand for the last couple of minutes. Jomel Puno back in here as well for San Beda.
Interesting lineup here for Coach Yuri. He's got 3 guards, a switchable forward in Jomel Puno who can play both forward positions if need be, and 1 big guy in Cliff Hopia. And you see the press here for San Beda, 2-to-1 zone press. Gerald Anderson.
Yeah, he was trying to let the officials know he's been hacked.
Oh, he's using his acting chops right there, Stan, showing the officials how it's done. Drawing the foul from James Payosi. You see in the replay, Gerald Anderson. Oh, selling that foul very well.
Couple of subs now for Coach Joseph Guion. Zamora and Mendoza out now.
Gerald staying aggressive here with the basketball, posting up. Trying
Anderson
to draw another foul.
through 2 defenders. Missing that one. Mendoza keeps it alive.
Irvin Mendoza, first time we've heard this name from the shooting perspective. We've heard this name when he's been giving up fouls, but it's a good sign for Coach Joseph.
Tagala thought about it. San Beda's offense a little bit more patient now with this different lineup here as Payosing drills that 3.
Payosing setting his feet and drilling that 3. Very, like you said, Stan, very patient, very deliberate offense from San Beda. They understand they don't need to rush anything. They're up 23, so they're staying patient with it.
Gerald Anderson with the pass to the corner. Dexter Zamora still can't get himself lucky. Payosing to the hole. Yes!
Payosing using his quickness and his athleticism to get to the rim finish over the third floor defender.
Lepalam posting up, fading away. Can't pull a dirt.
Not really the strength of Ladis Lepalam's game. The one-on-one post. Not
And
really a strong suit, Stan.
And Genmar Bragay sending that one out of bounds there. 19 on the shot clock for San Beda. Scores 94-69. That's a 25-point margin. Very comfortable if you're San Beda.
Good stop there. Gerald Anderson blocking James Payosing on that backdoor cut.
And Coach Joseph Guion calls timeout. We'll be right back with the rest of this fourth quarter. Welcome back to our coverage of the 2023 AsiaBasket Kuala Lumpur, brought to you by Sportsclick. Closing in on the midway point of the fourth quarter here.
You see the versatility of Jomel Puno guarding Genmar Bragais, but ultimately switching. Not a great switch right there, but Bragais misses the layup.
And now San Beda trying to finish on the fast break. That's good for Payosing.
Payosing showing off the hops, showing off the athleticism, finishing on the break over 6'9" Ladis Lepalam.
14 now for James Payosing. He and Eman Tagle, the scoring leaders for San Beda. Gerald for three, yes!
Gerald Anderson's first bucket in this fourth quarter. Maybe a case of too little, too late for third floor KALOSph Cooly. It's been a very up and down game for the guys in red. And Zamora committing his fourth foul now, Stan.
And, well, that's dangerous because, of course, you need 5 fouls to foul out in a game like this. However, the San Beda Red Lions already have built a huge lead. And when you amass an advantage like this, with time not being on your side, it could look insurmountable, especially after a three like that from Pete Alfaro.
No, San Beda just executing very well, staying patient. They understand the need to be disciplined, especially in a game like this, Stan, when it's looking like it's out of reach for the other team. There's a need for all the teams to stay patient and stay disciplined because you don't want to carry over bad habits to your next game.
This is definitely a three from Jomel Puno. That one's good. That last bucket from Alfaro, not a three-pointer, just to clarify things as we get under 4 minutes here.
Jomel Puno showing off his versatility. Hitting that three. He's defending the perimeter guys of third floor KALOSph Cooly.
And credit to them, credit to San Beda for being unselfish there on offense. They know that they had the advantage. They know that they were on the break. But to find the open man spotting up from the corner and the recognition as Jomel Puno scores once again. He's got 16.
Jomel Puno showing that he has the freshest legs because he sat out yesterday's game against KALOsph.
Another rebound for the very active James Payosing.
Too active.
Got blocked there by Zamora. Gerald again. Yes.
Gerald Anderson surpassing his average of 22.5 points per game. Now with 23, hiking up his total. But again, the offense coming a bit too late for third floor.
Yeah, it's a shame that it took this long for Gerald Anderson's three-point stroke to get on the job. But that's what happens when it's just not your day.
You really have days like, especially in a short tournament, there will be days that you'll struggle mentally and physically.
Gerald Anderson watching this game unravel right now as Pete Alfaro finds himself wide open.
Third floor now, not the best body language they're displaying here towards the end of the game. Looks like they've all but given up with 2 minutes left. And San Beda staying focused regardless of situation, time and score.
And there's another steal from Tagala. The Red Lions with unmatched energy, and Jomel Puno with that hard hit to the stanchion. The frustration just getting to Bragais.
Not really a good look if again where Bragais, with the game out of hand, seeing the replay again where Bragais taking out his frustrations on Jomel Puno. Finishes despite the contact right there, fortunately hitting his face on the stanchion. Coach Joseph definitely not happy with the officiating. Asking for a foul in that last possession. He feels like it's been uneven, not just today, but for the rest of their games, first two games. Feels like it's been very uneven in terms of officiating.
And the third floor, they've got one more game here, and with this one about to wrap up in the next couple of minutes, all they can really hope for here is to end strong with a win.
You know, they have, it's easier said than done, Stan. They have KL Asil tomorrow night in the main game. KL Asil coming off a big win against San Beda last night. And they're going to have Jalen Robinson, Mr. 55-piece, to deal with tomorrow night.
That's going to be quite the task here for the third floor KALOSph Cooly.
Jomel Puno getting the rest, well-deserved rest. Played excellent today's ball game. Jomel Puno.
He has a game-high 19, actually, Coach.
19 points. And quick sub. I don't know why. Alfaro just came in for Puno, and Puno comes in for Alfaro.
Down to the last couple of minutes here for Puno. Fading away. Th3rd thought he caught that. Nice pass out to Payosing with a floater. That's going to be a shot clock violation for the San Beda Red Lions Machateam.
You know, Stan, I love Alex Visser's activity down in the paint. The past few games, he's been defending the #1 big man of the opposing team. Right now, he doesn't really need defend, bigger guys. Well, we see him defending Ladis Lipalam, but despite the height advantages of the world imports against him, he's been holding his own against bigger guys than him.
Actually, Coach Mark, if there's one thing we've observed here from the San Beda Red Lions Machateam is that it's a very deep squad. And if you're doing a scouting report on them, know this. The likes of Jacob Cortez and Yuki Andrada didn't even play a lot of minutes. They haven't really produced, obviously tired from last night's game against the Kuala Lumpur ASEAL as Gerald Anderson hits another one from downtown. This is a different lineup than what San Beda normally throws out there in competitions.
That's very hard if you're the scout making a scouting report against San Beda. You need to prepare for 18 players. Definitely a deep squad for Coach Yuri Escueta. See Gerald Anderson trying to shoot another 3. He's up to 26.
Less than a minute to go here in regulation. All but over. San Beda Red Lions Machateam up by 32. And they just want to punctuate this one with a couple of baskets, as Genmar Bragais does right there.
With this win, San Beda will probably propel themselves to the #1 seed in their bracket. Up 30 points with 35 seconds remaining.
And that's a very significant cushion that they're giving themselves in front of MBC Kirin, who's, again, their elimination phase has already ended. And MBC Kirin has a plus 16 quotient right now. That's the cumulative points they've scored against the points that have been scored against them so far. Again, that's 16 As for the San Beda Red Lions Machateam, they entered this one with a 31-point cushion, plus 31. You add the final score here, that's going to be 30. That's going to be a plus 61 cushion, giving them the lead against MBC Kirin in the Group B standings.
You love to see the determination from San Beda. They know they had to win big today and getting the job done without much of Jacob Cortez or Yukin Adrado to speak of.
That's right. And again, it just really goes to show that there's a lot of trust from Coach Yuri Escueta and the coaching staff, even the manager, Coach Jude Roque, who we're seeing dap up with the players of the third floor. And this squad, the San Beda Red Lions Machateam, is poised to make a run, probably go deep here in this AsiaBasket tournament. But more importantly, the bigger prize at the end, and that's the NCAA Season 99 crown.
You know, San Beda, whenever they join any kind of tournament, they're definitely looking to win the championship. They're not joining just for the sake of joining, Stan. They're joining to win it all.
Absolutely. We've got 3 more games coming up here on our schedule. Coming up next, you've got the Shawarma Shack Pilipinas taking on the MFT Fruit Masters. That's coming up shortly. But first, our very own Kimberly Mas standing with our best player of the game. We're going to hear from him in a bit, representing the San Beda Red Lions Machateam. Their high point man, Jomel Puno. He's standing with Kimberly Mas right now.
Thank you so much, Stan. I'm here with the player of the game, Jomel Puno. Congratulations. I want to know, it was a long game yesterday. I want to know what or who motivates Jomel Puno.
Sorry, can you say that again? I didn't hear you.
Who motivates, what or who motivates Jomel Puno?
First of all, obviously my family motivates me the most. I wouldn't be here without them, my biggest supporters. Besides my family, obviously the San Beda community. Obviously I want to represent our community and hopefully get a win. So our community hasn't won in a while, so this is a big tournament for us to grow and learn.
Okay, moving forward, who do you think will be a good matchup in the semis?
Wait, sorry?
Who will be a good matchup in the semis?
I think the best matchup would be Benilde, just because they're similar to our play style, very fast paced, and they play like a college team. But I'm hoping to verse the other Malaysia team, because we came here to gain experience other than Philippines, so we can hopefully build up for the upcoming NCAA season.
Okay, you mentioned that you have a lot of family and friends back home and the San Beda community. Maybe you want to greet them one more time.
I actually have family in the Philippines, in Pampanga and in Ilocos. My family, my sister Kaylin, my mom Maria, and my dad Elmer, my biggest supporters.
Congratulations. Thank you. Back to you, Stan and Mark.
Thank you very much, Kimberly Mas. Congratulations once again to Jomel Puno and the rest of the San Beda Red Lions Machateam, just dominating in this contest against the third floor KALOSph Cooly. We'll see you in a bit for the second game of our quadruple header. Stay with us. This is the 2023 AsiaBasket Kuala Lumpur, brought to you by Sportsclick.